Honey, did FEMA bring our food yet? Oh dear, it's no food to eat.
Hi, I'm Suri,
Hi, I'm Hungria.
and we are...
AV Prepping.
Hi, Suri here from AV Prepping. Today's video is the first of a three-part series in which we will be discussing emergency disaster preparedness. There are 11 recommendations in which FEMA has for you to have on hand in case of a natural disaster. The first is water and non-perishable food. They recommend a minimum of 3 days of food and several days worth of water. You can live without food for quite a while, but water is another thing. Their recommendation is 1 gallon per person per day. This will include drinking and for hygiene purposes. The second item on FEMA's list is extra cell phone batteries and a battery charger. There's a problem with that. If you have an iPhone, well, you really can't change the battery, and if there's no power due to the natural disaster or man-made disaster, you're not going to be able to charge it. But there is a remedy. It's called a portable charger. You can have this pre-charged or you can have a solar charger, whichever one you like. Personally, our family, we have 3 chargers that we can use solar power with. The next item on our list is a battery operated or hand cranked radio that has the NOAA weather band on it and an alert tone in case of severe weather. We personally have an Eton, which is solar powered, and it has a rechargeable battery in it. We can also charge our devices and we can charge our cell phones with it, and it also has a flashlight. So that's part of our 3 charger system that we have. Remember, 2 is 1, 1 is none. Redundancy is part of the game when it comes to prepping, especially for emergency disasters. The next item on our list is flashlights and extra batteries. We each have a flashlight in our family. We even have one for our son. It was very important that he has this. We went through a hurricane in South Florida. He had his own flashlight, and it came in very handy when hurricane warnings were coming every 20 to 30 minutes because we were on the dirty side of the storm. He was scared. We were able to get him into a safe room with his flashlight, and that entertained him. Your next item you should have, that you probably already do have, is a first aid kit. In our next video, we'll talk about the first aid kits that we have at our house. I am currently a nurse, and my wife is a retired nurse, so we have kind of an advanced first aid kit, and we'll go over that and share it with you, and hopefully you can get some of these items. So your next item is going to be a whistle. The purpose of the whistle is obvious: to make noise and let people know where you are if you are trapped or you need help. Pretty basic. You can get these any place. They're always a good thing to have on hand. Okay, so this item's kind of funny. Well, it's not funny, but it's on their checklist for basic emergency kit is a dust mask. And this is not for the coronavirus or any other virus running around, but it's for contaminated material that may be floating around in the air, and this will stop some of it from the dust from getting in your nostrils and into your lungs and possibly save your life. Okay, our next item on the checklist is a non-sparking wrench or pliers. This is for you to turn off any utilities, i.e. gas or propane. If you're on the West Coast, like in Southern California, I used to live there, we always had a wrench so we could turn our gas off that goes into the house. Currently, we live in a house and we have propane, so I have a wrench so I can go out there and cut off the propane in a couple different areas other than the top of the tank that has a screw knob on it. So we had the toilet paper shortage during the coronavirus, and that should be on your list, but they have moist towelettes and trash bags, and this is basically for sanitation purposes. If you're without water that flushes or sewage, if you have to use the bathroom, you can do that and you can throw your bodily functions away. Okay, we're down to our last 2 items, and the next item on our list is a can opener. This is for you to be able to open up your tuna, your ham, your Spam, whatever item you have that's non-perishable, that doesn't need to be refrigerated. if you're stuck without eating any warm food, you can crack the can open and eat it. A lot of people have electric can openers. You can go down to the Dollar Tree and get a can opener for 99 cents, and you'll be able to open your food instead of having to use a knife, which you could cut your hand and cause an infection and be really bad off if it takes a while for emergency responders to get to you. Okay, last but not least is a local map of your area. Now, most people will say they don't need a map of their area because they've lived there so long. Having been through a hurricane in South Florida, things are just demolished, and you may not recognize streets or houses because they're gone. The funny thing is, street signs a lot of times will still be up, so you can reference where you are on the map if you're trying to get someplace. If you're super knowledgeable of your area, you probably don't need a map, but if you think you're going to be going further than where you currently live, it would be a good idea to have some extra maps and you know where you're going. You can't always rely on your phone with GPS. So maps is the last item, the basics that FEMA would like you to have on hand. The next video we will talk about other suggested items that FEMA has, and we'll add some of our own items that we think you should have. Again, we have long-term preps. We've been doing this for a while, but a lot of people who haven't done any preparing and they're just starting to understand they might need things, especially after what they saw on TV with what happened in Texas, being prepared is a good idea. Y'all have a great day and see you next week.